Hi, welcome to another edition of Ask Gem. Here's the question for today. Dear Gemma, I hope everything is going great in your life. Yes, today it is. Thank you. I've noticed that sometimes I get stuck in emotions like anger or sadness for a long time and have a hard time getting out of them. I was hoping you might be able to do a video blog about this because I think a lot of people struggle with it. Thank you so much. I do too. Yeah, I totally do. Lots of people struggle with this. So what happens is with the emotional stuckness piece so we experience an emotion. So let's say you're getting up in the morning and doing your breakfast thing and you spill orange juice on yourself and you have a reaction of annoyance. That fires a pattern in your mind of annoyance. And then emotions, naturally, if we allow them to, they want to fade. They're intended to fade. So it may last a few minutes if you just allow it to sort of start to fade. But then, let's pretend that like 2 minutes later, the emotion of annoyance is starting to fade, and then 2 minutes later you walk through the kitchen and you slip on your child's toy and you fall and you hurt yourself. That's going to create a bigger and more intense emotion because you just experienced the emotion of annoyance, and so now this one is going to go like further and faster and it's going to be more intense. So what happens is that people that have a tendency to get stuck in emotions also have a tendency to go into those same maps over and over and over again. So thinking about things that have happened during their day and sort of like ruminating on the stuff that's sad or that creates anger, or even stuff that's, far, far back in their past. And then what happens is that those systems in their mind fire quickly and more intensely because they were just thinking that. So for example, let's say that you continue through your day, but you keep thinking about, oh, I spilled orange juice on myself, and then I tripped, and and then you get into traffic. You're still activating all of those emotional states, and so traffic is going to be so much more frustrating for you than if those emotions had faded. So when that happens, we call it a mood. So emotions tend to fade, and we tend to stay in moods for a longer period of time. And so what happens for people that have a predisposition to anxiety or depression or some mental health illness is that we find that they sort of get stuck in an emotion for a long time. And we don't exactly know why people get stuck, but getting unstuck is certainly not an easy task. And the unfortunate thing about that is that it sort of sets up your mind to only remember the things that are connected to the depressive state. So for example, a person that tends to be more joyful, if you ask them to remember memories from their past, they'll tell you all the joyful memories. It's not because the joyful person had more joyful memories or the depressed person had more depressed moments. That doesn't matter. The research shows us that. What matters is that the state that they're in the moment tends to dictate what they can remember. And people that have stayed in the depressive state for a longer period of time, they actually begin to block out joyful memories. So even if they happened, the mind begins to almost forget that they were there, so there's no evidence to contradict the depressive state. So what do we do about this? I would suggest making a list or grabbing like a photo album or something that can pull you out of those emotional states when you find that you get stuck in them. I've had a history of depression and anxiety, and so I have these things all over my house. So if you come to my house, you'll see that I have like inspirational magnets all over the fridge. In my office, there's like little post-it notes with nice sayings all over the place. If you go upstairs to the family level, you'll see that there's a giant wall with pictures of all like the happiest memories in our life. And I bump into these things each and every day, so that if I ever find myself stuck in an emotion that's turning into a mood, I can go up to my wall and I can just look at the pictures. Or I can come and I can sit in my office and I can read the little notes I've written to myself about why it's important to stay in the loving emotions. So I hope this helps. You can find your own way to integrate this into your life. You can put it on like a little like recipe card and carry it around with you, and you can read it if you're like standing in line at the supermarket. You can make a plan to listen to things that are inspiring, or to put just anything. Make your own picture wall, write your own notes to yourself. Anything that can start to help you shift the emotional state so you don't get stuck on the frustration and the annoyance of spilling orange juice and falling in traffic. That's going to help you to pull out of it more quickly. So I hope this helps. Thank you so much for your question, and thank you to everyone for tuning in. And I will catch you next time. Bye for now.